February the 19th, 2019, and we just had a county council meeting, and the rain chased everybody away. Didn't have a lot of people here tonight.
Yes, very few people here tonight. It was a light agenda, but even with the light agenda, it went longer than usual. We started off honoring the Palmetto Mustang cheerleading team for winning the state title in cheerleading. It's very impressive, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was their third state title in a row, which is insanely impressive. Considering they even jumped up divisions, so the competition went up and they still came out number one. So that was pretty cool to see. Then we went straight into the meeting, and like all meetings, we have first, second, and third reading. We had a number of things in third reading that had come up before. One of them was substance abuse facilities. We passed an ordinance that just basically regulated where they were in proximity to schools. And it wasn't overly complicated, but wanted to make sure that we gave a safe buffer zone if something like that were to come in. And it hadn't been addressed in the past, so it was something that needed to be done. We did the final third reading on about 110 acres out on Cox Road. That's up for development. It's in Ms. Wilson's district. She's highly encouraged about the development. She's been working with the developer. We also went through another procedural matter, which is a joint county park with Greenville. It's basically where we participate with Greenville, Greenville participates with us, and it allows us to do economic development incentives. The final part of it was a resolution that finalized a fee in lieu of tax benefit with Orion Rugs. There was a follow-up to a procedural matter from a number of years ago that just made the chain of title and the paperwork correct. Before we got into that, though, and I skipped over it briefly, we heard from Mr. Jimmy Davis in conjunction or on behalf of Mrs. Gracie Floyd in regards to litter in the county. It's been an ongoing problem for a number of years, but it's not just Anderson County, it's a statewide problem. But nevertheless, it's something that we want to get better at. And a part of it's education. We want people to take pride in the county and not litter. And then part of it's enforcement. The folks that do litter, we want to give them a deterrent so they don't litter any longer. So that's an ongoing battle. That's something that's been ongoing since I've been on council. And I think it's one of those things you can make strides and you can fall back. You can make strides, and the game is to try to stay consistent with it. We then heard from John Loomis of the Upstate Alliance. John is a native Andersonian. I'm proud to call him a constituent of District 1, former Economic Development Director here in Anderson, former Foundation Director at Tri-County Tech, but he heads up the marketing for all 16 counties of the Upstate. And they basically try their best around the globe to bring businesses here, get businesses to locate here to drive employment. He brought up three interesting points. In the past, most of the time, counties chased big projects with many jobs, big manufacturing projects. They're seeing the trend over the next 10 years of being more mid-sized firms that are involved in innovation and technology. How do we change our marketing pitch in the upstate to go after those? And then one of the things that was very encouraging to council is how do we work with local firms who are already existing to open up regional, national, and global sales? Because one of the things that we know from economic development is the majority of jobs over the past 20 years are created by companies locating and then expanding. And so it's important not only to be very excited about the big companies coming, but to foster an environment where the smaller companies can then become medium-sized companies and large companies themselves. We went then into a sewer update and a finance update. From the sewer, we heard updates on Wellpine Road, around the Arthrex development, Exit 14 area, and then some items dealing with operations of how sewer is billed in the summertime versus the wintertime. Summertime you have peak season with watering grass and filling up pools. There's ways the county's done it in the past. Staff's looking at ways that we could do it better and make it more equitable. In the Finance Committee, we made recommendations on 3 bid projects for resurfacing. We also came back out of executive session about how to advertise a building we have for sale in Pickens. Chairman Dunn made an appointment to the Economic Development Board, and then we went into executive session and heard about contractual matters with sewer with the town of Iva, and also with a Colonial Pipeline, which is a national company that will have a pipeline going through our county. We wrapped it up with a request for council, and there were some recreation events that each council member wanted to fund in their areas, and that's pretty typical, especially going in the spring as more events came up. And then we heard from citizens. We had one citizen come forth, and it looks like it might be something that the county and the city can work together to hopefully help the gentleman out on. But other than that, it was a pretty straightforward night, and not a lot of folks in attendance, but that can be expected with the cold rain. But some good things going on, and I think with the projects that we're letting from the county side, you'll see paving and all of that pick up as the springtime comes and the warmer weather comes and allows the construction to move forward.
And I've been at, whether you're talking about the committee meetings or the other meetings, the council's always receptive and wants more citizen input as the budget comes forward and other things are going on.
Yeah, the budget's still moving forward. It's a long process, and the good thing about the budget process is whatever your concern is, you can interject at any part in the process, and we welcome it at any stage, whether it's how EMS or the fire departments or police or whatever might be of concern to you. Bring it forth, and either we can help you on the county council side, or we can actually work with you to get to the right person on sort of what I call the agency side. But it's key to have input from the public, because that's our ears on the ground that lets us know what's going on.